Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bagus Pratama from class 3B, and I want to presenting about social linguistic. Definition and basic concept of social linguistic is the study of how language serves and it's shaped by the social nature of human beings. In this broadcast conceptions, social linguistic analyze the many and diverse ways in which language and society entwine. Speech community. A speech community, as defined by linguistic, is a group of people who interact through speech. However, more nuanced definition consider factors such as social interaction patterns, shared attitudes towards language, and group identity. It can encompass monolingual or multilingual groups bound of common linguistic features, interactions, and in some cases, more than one language or dialect. Speech or verbal repertoire. Speech repertoire refers to the range of language or language varieties available to speakers for various social roles. This concept acknowledges that individuals or communities may have diverse linguistic tools in their communication toolbox, including different language varieties, dialects, and styles. Whether in monolingual or multilingual setting, understanding verbal repertoires allows social linguistics to analyze the linguistic resource within a community. Speech situations, if speech event and speech act. In social linguistics, language is not analyzed in isolation, but is examined within its socio-cultural context. The speech situation refers to the broader context, such as ceremonies or meals, marked by the presence or absence of speech. A speech event, a smaller unit, involves activities directly governed by speech-related rules or norms, like conversation or lectures. The smallest unit, the speech acts, focuses on the function of an utterance, distinguishing it from formal sentence analysis. It is identified by conventional formulas, intonation, and the social relationship between the speaker and the hearer. Language gender and language varieties. Diverse gender roles in the Guinea tribes. In early of 1930s, New Guinea tribe like Arabes and Mundugumor, distinct gender roles were observed deviating from Western norms. The Chambuli tribe, for instance, exhibited a reversal of roles with dominant women. Margaret Mead's studies reinforce this unconventional gender dynamics in contrast to Western culture. Language as gender construction. The text underscores the impact of language of gender identity, especially in male-dominated societies. It draws attention to negative language biases, as seen in English. It suggests a potential relevance for South Asian language. This highlights the broader issue of language playing a role in shaping social perception of gender. Lingua franca, pidgin, and Creole. English as lingua franca, ELF. The discussion begins by introducing the concept of English as lingua franca or ALF, emphasizing its prevalence in global communication where English is not the first language. ALF is defined as a medium of communication chosen by speakers from diverse linguistic backgrounds to share ideas. Scholars like Selhover, Messier, and Beth underscore and broad usage for ALF across various domains and its adaptability to different lingua cultural backgrounds. The importance of ALF is further highlighted by its role in facilitating language learning and shaping teaching methods. Cultural identity. The concept of culture is explored by Kumaradivelius differentiation into general and specific paradigms. The general perspective views culture as creative events such as art and literature, while the specific perspective sees culture as individual constructs like attitudes, values, and beliefs that shape personal group life. The discussion emphasizes the role of culture in differentiating individual or groups within a community, underlining its significance in understanding cultural identity. Pigeon and Crow. The text then transitions to the discussion of Pidgin and Crow language. Pidgins describes as a contact real language with no native speakers. It's often considered a simplified variety of a standard language. It forms the three languages with one being dominant come into contact. The text notes that not all pidgins evolve into Creole language. Creole, on the other hand, are considered normal language with native speakers, emerging the settlement colonies through interaction between European language speakers and non-European slaves. The linguistic characteristics of pidgins and Creoles involve simplification and expansion respectively in morphology, syntax, and phonology. Next is linguistic characteristic of pidgins and Creole. The final part of the text delves into linguistic characteristics of pidgins and Creole, emphasizing the simplification during pigeonation and expansion during creolization. The comparison of this language to standard language is cautioned against, highlighting the well-organized nature of Pidgin and Creole as distinct linguistic systems. The discussion concludes by noting the difference in sounds, vowels, and consonants between pidgins or Creoles and their corresponding stance language, emphasizing the necessary to approach them as unique linguistic entities. Language maintenance and language shift. Language maintenance. This concept refers to extent to which individuals or groups continue using their language, especially in settings where bilingualism or multilingualism is common, or among immigrant communities. Is in essence, it's about the community sticking to its traditional language despite various factors that might otherwise lead to a shift in another language. This practice is also known as language survival or language retention. An example could be a community using its mother tongue in everyday communication throughout their lives. Their lives. Language language shift. In contrast, language shift occurs when a community abandons its original language in favor of adopting a new one. It is essentially a process where there is a transition from the habitual use of one language to that of routine use of a language embracing another. This gradual disappearance of a language in community where it was once spoken is spoken succinctly captured by Jasper and Krohn 1993 as the gradual disappearance of a language in a community where it's used to be spoken. Okay, the conclusion is studying social linguistics is the peeking into how people talk in their daily lives. It's all about understanding how language tell us about who we are and how we can use it to connect or even push people away. Whether we mean to or not, social linguistics looks at how language changes based on where you are, how much money you have, and where you fit in society. It's closely linked with dialects, which are different ways people in a society talk. So, if you're into grasping how social setups and conversation work together, this lecture is for you. Okay, that's all for you. For me, from me, I'm sorry if I'm being something like maybe something wrong in me, but that's all I can do. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sekian dan terima kasih.